and welcome back to another video from Madeira. We are now at Miradouro do Fio, which is one of my favorite viewpoints in Madeira. You can see that we were literally alone, but it's probably because the weather was super bad today. But anyways, you can see how beautiful the landscape is from here. If you've seen in the past photos from Hawaii, this is exactly or almost identical to the landscapes I saw when visiting Hawaii, and I just fell in love with it. These mountains looked really similar. And anyways, right now on the screen you can see me struggling in the wind, and this is where I want to tell you that this video and this vlog from Madeira is very different from all the other videos that I did in the past, because it's not about what you should visit, but I want to show you how a very bad travel day can be in Madeira if the weather does not allow you to enjoy it. You can see that I was really struggling in the wind, and it was so cold. And right now you can also see Mike, that was literally struggling to sit down because the wind was so strong and the waves were so big. From that far away and also on the camera, it's not really that visible, but trust me, the waves were super wild. And also a very important thing is that the airports were closed. There were no flights going in or out of Madeira today, and apparently this happens pretty often because the weather is super unpredictable. For example, we got super unlucky. Most of the days were rainy and windy. Anyways, at this point I was filming the clouds that were moving so fast, and there were some super scary dark clouds coming very close to us. You can see that in a matter of minutes the parking was already covered with clouds, and you can see that is actually not rain, it's just clouds that were moving super fast, and it was starting to get a little bit scary. You can see how tilted the trees are because of the wind, and also the cable from the electricity is moving super fast. And once I saw that the rain started, I rushed to the car because it was not worth the risk of staying outside. And I think not even 5 minutes passed and a super strong rain started. You will very soon see on the screen. And literally, if I was outside, I would be soaked in water in less than a minute, I think. But anyways, the point of these videos, I've already told you, is to show you what a rainy and a stormy day in Madeira could be like as a tourist that is trying to visit as many things as possible. And you can see the storm has begun and we are happily in the car, but it was pretty hard to drive because the windscreen was always covered with water. So if you are not really an experienced driver or you are used to driving on large streets, if you see that the weather forecast is bad, try to avoid driving, because in general in Madeira it is not really super easy to drive because the streets are not really huge. But if it is raining like this, it can be really dangerous if you are not a very experienced driver. But anyways, even if it seems like I'm only telling you the negative side of things, it was pretty funny to stay outside in the rain. I will show you in a few minutes some videos from a viewpoint that is super famous where I went outside in the rain, literally in the storm, and that was a super fun experience. Then we also did a hike in the rain, and that was super fun. I will show you at the end of this video. But anyways, you can see we have arrived at Miradouro do Véu da Noiva, and that is where I went outside of the car, and the rain was super crazy, and I got myself covered from head to toes in rain. Also at this point we were driving back home because we figured that we could not do anything today in this weather. Happily we managed to see some viewpoints, but that was it. And going back home was pretty weird because we saw a lot of rocks on the street, as you can see right now as I'm filming, and that made us feel a little bit anxious because it did not seem very safe. Also when we were driving we saw a lot of random newly made waterfalls that were created from the rain. Anyways, what I'm filming right now is a one-way tunnel, and again this is another example of the fact that it is not really that easy to drive in Madeira if you are used to driving only on highways or huge streets, for example how it's like in the US. So be careful, drive slowly, and drive only when the weather is pretty good. Anyways, at the end we were rewarded with such a beautiful rainbow, and right now I want to show you a little bit from our rainy hike. So today we are doing the Caldeirão Verde hike. It's also Levada, and today it is raining a lot, as you can see around us. I'm not sure if we're able to do the full hike. It depends on the, I don't know, on how wet it will be on the trail. Anyways, as you can see, it is raining even more right now. It is pretty bad, but we are at the beginning of the trail. Maybe between trees it will be better, hopefully. Anyways, I have a full vlog from this rainy hike and it was super epic. So if you're interested in that, please make sure you check my other video from Caldeirão Verde. It was super fun. I linked it down below in the description, but you can find it on my channel page. It is a pretty easy hike if it does not rain like today. If the weather is like today, then it becomes a medium hike because you have to avoid all this water and it is more difficult, but it's still flat. We are not climbing at all. It is very easy for anyone. You just have to walk. Oh my gosh, my shoes are in a very bad condition right now. Look at this. But yep, I think it's the easiest among the famous trails here in Madeira. Even though it looks like I'm struggling a lot and it is not enjoyable, trust me, it was very enjoyable and fun. It was not as easy as it would have been if it was not raining, but I do not regret it. It was super fun. But anyways, doing this trail during a storm has its benefits because, as I've already told you in the other vlog about this hike, the waterfalls were so much bigger and everything was more interesting and more diverse thanks to the rain. Anyways, look at us right now. It was so funny. So after around 3 and a little bit kilometers, we have arrived to a very, very beautiful waterfall. As you can see behind me, it is so pretty. We had some stairs to climb and to go down, but not a lot. It is very, very easy, but it is very hard because of the rain and of the water. But enjoy this beautiful waterfall with me here. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I know that this video is not like the others I did, but still I wanted to show you that you can transform a bad weather day in Madeira in such a fun and interesting one. And if you enjoyed this video and you found it useful or interesting, please don't forget to like it and to subscribe, and see you in the next video.